All right, today we're going to dive into one of the most chilling, most influential books ever put to paper, George Orwell's 1984. We're going to journey through its world, its key ideas, and explore this terrifying vision of total control where reality itself is just another weapon. Let's get into it.
Right from the jump, Orwell hits us with this. Just let that sink in for a second. In this world, the worst possible crime you can commit isn't something you do, it's something you think. The simple, private act of having a rebellious thought is itself a death sentence. It perfectly sets this dark, oppressive tone for everything else to come.
So, where are we? We're in a place called Oceania. It's a massive superstate run by the party, and the party is led by the always watching, never sleeping Big Brother. This is the world of our guy, Winston Smith, and it's a place where being an individual is basically being a criminal.
So how exactly is Big Brother always watching? Well, say hello to the telescreen. Imagine your TV, but you can never ever turn it off. And oh yeah, it's also watching and listening to you 24/7. They're everywhere. In your home, on the street, there is zero privacy. You can't even turn your back to it because, as the book says, even a back can look suspicious. But the telescreen is just the beginning. The party has a whole toolbox for keeping everyone in line. You've got the thought police, who can arrest you just for having the wrong look on your face. You've got the daily 2 minutes hate, which is this bizarre ritual where everyone screams at a picture of the state's enemy. And then you have the really insidious stuff like rewriting history and even language itself.
So what happens if the thought police do catch you? It's something else. You don't just get executed, you get vaporized. And what that means is the party doesn't just end your life, it erases your entire existence. Every record, every photo, gone. It's like you were never even born.
And here's where it gets really tangible for our main character, Winston. He works at the Ministry of Truth, and you gotta love the irony of that name, where his job is literally to rewrite the past. If the party says, hey, we've always been at war with East Asia, Winston's job is to go back and change every single newspaper article to make that the truth. The past is whatever the party says it is.
But, even in a world this controlled, the human spirit is a stubborn thing. For Winston, it all starts with a secret diary, and then a single folded note. This is the spark of a rebellion, one that doesn't start with a bang, but with a forbidden feeling.
Now check out Winston's first impression of Julia, the woman who is about to turn his life upside down. He doesn't feel attraction. He feels this violent, murderous rage. It is absolutely shocking to read, but it's the perfect example of how the party has twisted everything. Natural human desires have been warped into pure hatred.
And then everything changes. She slips him a note. He's terrified. He's sure it's from the thought police, that he's a dead man. But when he finally gets a chance to read it, it says just 3 words, the most explosive words you could possibly write in Oceania. I love you.
And just like that, their affair isn't just an affair, it's a political act. It's an act of war. You see, the party wants sex to be just a joyless duty to the party to make more members. But for Winston and Julia, their desire, their love, that's pure rebellion. It's an assertion of their own humanity, and the secret little room they rent becomes their only sanctuary from the world. Winston actually says this to Julia, and it perfectly sums up his whole philosophy of rebellion. His logic is, if the party stands for goodness and purity, then the only way to fight back is to embrace corruption, to embrace chaos. Anything that makes you human, anything the party hates, is a victory. But let's be real, in a place like Oceania, this was never going to last. Their capture was inevitable, and it brings them to the one place everyone in this world dreads, the Ministry of Love, the place where reality goes to die. The moment they get caught is just bone-chilling. They're in their secret room, their sanctuary, thinking they're safe. And then a cold, iron voice speaks from a hidden telescreen behind a picture on the wall, and it repeats the very words Winston had thought to himself. You are the dead. Game over. So, inside the ministry, Winston is interrogated by a man named O'Brien, the very man Winston thought was secretly on his side. And O'Brien lays out the party's whole philosophy. He says old tyrants used to say, don't do this. Newer ones said, you must do this. But the party, their power is absolute. They say, this is what you are. They don't just control actions, they control reality itself.
And this is the end goal. O'Brien spells it out. The party's aim isn't just to control you.
It's to completely hollow you out, to erase who you are, and then pour themselves into the empty space. It's about total annihilation of the self.
And there's a method to this madness. It's not just random torture. O'Brien explains there are 3 stages to what they call reintegration. First is learning. That's the pain. Then comes understanding, where they break you down with logic, and finally acceptance, where you just give up completely.
And this is where the logic gets truly terrifying. The party isn't interested in making martyrs. No, they can't let a dissident die while still disagreeing with them. The goal is to cure them. They have to genuinely convert you to their way of thinking. Only after they've perfected your brain do they grant you the mercy of a bullet.
And if you're a really tough case, if you still cling to one last little piece of yourself, some love or loyalty you won't give up, well, then they send you to Room 101. And Room 101 is personal. It contains the one thing in the world you cannot bear, your worst nightmare, custom made. For Winston, that's rats.
Room 101 is the final step in Winston's total deconstruction. What comes out the other side isn't the man who went in. It's just an empty shell, a person who has finally, completely, learned to love the lie.
And here it is, the absolute breaking point. Winston always held on to one belief. They can torture me, they can make me say anything, but they can't get inside my head. They can't make me betray Julia. But when he's faced with a cage of starving rats about to eat his face, he breaks. He screams for them to do it to her instead.
After he's released, he meets Julia again. It's a hollow, empty encounter, and she confesses she betrayed him too. She explains that in that moment, when you're facing your deepest fear, you mean it. All you care about is saving yourself. That inner heart he thought was invincible? It wasn't.
And this leads us to the final, iconic image of Winston's defeat. He's a broken man, sitting in a cafe, just tracing in the dust on a table. And what does he write? 2 + 2 = 5. He doesn't just say it because he has to. He now believes it. Objective truth is gone.
And the book ends with this absolute gut punch of a line. His transformation is complete, that last spark of defiance is gone, and it's been replaced with a genuine, tear-filled love for the very system that crushed him. The party has won. Absolutely.
So, that's the journey of 1984. And it leaves us with this huge, deeply unsettling question. It's not just about Winston's world. It forces us to look at our own. It makes us think about truth, about propaganda, about all the forces trying to shape what we believe. So the final question is, if reality really does just exist in the mind, who controls yours?